do you want to start with what we were just talking about?
I don't even remember what we were just talking about. Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can because I mentioned the Discord in my solo episode. I don't know if if you listened to it at all, but I mentioned the Discord and kind of gave in the at least in the Patreon bonus that I did. I kind of had a little bit of a heart to heart for 10 minutes or so about kind of Fed Post and Discord as it related to Fed Post. And I think I kind of covered it there, but it'd be nice for us both to kind of give our thoughts on it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest right now. It's been so fucking crazy for me lately. I actually didn't actually listen to the stuff,
That's
which
cool.
is that's embarrassing. I like should have done it, and I will because but for this, I wanted to bring that up just because in case I say anything redundant with what you've already
Yeah.
said.
Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot either.
Oh no, no,
Like, all right, let's
we
click record. All right, did you listen to the episode that I made, bro?
no, no, you're good. But no, but I mean, we literally did just say like, let's just record and just completely organically have the conversation go.
But yeah,
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, just
Discord.
yeah, just repeating what I was saying. Like, yeah, I don't know. Discord was cool for a while until it kind of suddenly wasn't, and things are different now in a few
Hmm.
ways, and so um, I think it probably will be less of an issue. Um, but um, but I mean, we'll see. You know, I think that there's yeah. I don't want to get too specific, but it'll. I want to kind of just take like some deliberate steps forward with it, pushing it forward.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think what I shared the gist of it, just to catch you up, was that I think that as a project, the Fed Post was mostly about kind of trying to bring people together with disparate points of view, and about kind of trying to provide, unironically, a big tent kind of situation. That was like,
it's the whole joke about white hoteps,
right,
right? Is that it's like no, unironically a big tent, like multiculturalism, but in the like we're all racist together funny way,
right.
right? Like it's that's the whole metaphor, right?
And I was saying that mostly taking that kind of approach, uh, I think was pretty much beneficial for our content and the kind of conversations that we had. But as far as developing a community or a fan base or just an sphere of interaction, it kind of leaves you open to having some snakes in the garden, having a little bit of a little bit of riffraff in there that you might not have wanted to interact with in the first place. And so, we were like, let's open up a Discord and let's put the join invite just right on our Twitter bio, and let's let anyone in because we want to let anyone have a voice. And it's a big table, and let's hear what you have to say and have a productive conversation. And in a ideal world when everything is lollipops and rainbows, then that would happen smoothly, and we'd have a productive conversation, and people would be kind to each other in the Discord and supportive of each other's issues and thoughts. But instead, you get people in that just want to, be a stick in the mud, or people who just want to cause a little bit of issues, or people who troll, or whatever it is. And so, leaving the door open like that kind of just allows that to proliferate a bit.
Well, and also, I mean, I'll even say all I stand by all of that, and also I even remember this is a little different than what we're talking about, but the same vein. That time that some fucking like dirtbag leftists like came into the server and were
Right.
like screenshotting shit
Hmm.
people were saying, and like I think they got CRK fucking banned from Twitter for a
They
while
did.
for that. And
Yeah.
that's like and it was like and it was like stuff, and not in like the stupid cynical way people who like said some, well, whatever, like who gives a shit if people say retarded shit online, but this was authentically stuff that was taken out of context,
Yeah.
which is funny because like so much stuff was said by people on there, myself included, that didn't even need to be taken out of context to be to bother people. But this particular situation totally was cynically, and it was just kind of wild.
Hmm.
And so that among other things, is just all the more reason why I think just having it private,
Right.
having it be, dude, you can't be coming on and fucking Fed posting,
Right. You can't be
or
coming
not, or
in there.
you can't be Fed posting too hard. Like a little, a nice light to medium Fed post on the special occasion is fun, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, you get
Don't
what I'm
come in there
saying.
taking screenshots either. Like, that's kind of what I was saying. That was right in the vein of what I was saying, Slav. Like, it just leaves the door open for people with malintent to come in.
Well, and
Um,
also just, I mean, I think what was more the problem with the Fed court was just like, just don't come in and be a fucking piece of shit to people.
right.
Like, like just like, I'm not gonna, we aren't gonna have, I'm sure I can speak for you on this, to be fair. Like,
Hmm.
we're not gonna have our Discord server be a place where people come and fucking treat each other like shit
Right.
and just act like sickos. Like
Hmm.
these people from our Discord are not sick, and they're not
Ideally
gonna
not.
be.
Right.
And if you come on and like you're a fucking a really like if you're a fucking glowy, you're getting kicked.
Hmm.
And if you come on and you're just a fucking malignant person,
Hmm.
um beyond just like what's kind of funny, right? I mean, we're much more tolerant of that stuff than most.
Right. I
Um,
mean, a little ball busting here and there is healthy.
yeah, 100%. But if you're just being a malignancy, you're getting kicked,
Right.
But again, I think like I think we're sending this out to an invite basically to you guys if you're on Patreon. And so I think that that's probably going to take care of most of it. There's not really going to be anybody there because they
Hmm.
hate us.
Yeah, I would hope not. I mean, and if they are there because they hate us, then at least we're getting, they're
Their
paying us to
money.
hate us, which is
Yeah.
better than better than what we were doing in the Discord previously.
If you're allowed to hate me, but should I should be entitled to money from you
Yeah,
if you
if you hate
do.
me, pay me.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
yeah, that's basically kind of that was it. Like, I don't know, I was talking about how we would have live streams when we'd have guests on, and we would leave it open for people to talk sometimes, and you would just get belligerent retards yelling over guests that were actually trying to have productive conversations. Or you would have like one woman would pop in one time in a blue moon, and like 1,500 dudes would just be like disgusting to her one way or another, and stuff like that going
I will
on.
to be fair, that's gonna happen either like in any
Yeah, that's just
circumstance.
the internet. Yeah.
And to be fair, I think a decent amount of that is a decent amount. I think a lot of that is fucking funny, but I get it. There's like a certain line where decency, it's. I mean, what is decency? But you know what I mean. Like I mean, we saw some
I
of the
mean, come
ridiculousness.
into the Discord with Jesus in your heart, or don't come in at all, bro. You know what I
Come in
mean?
with Jesus. Exactly. We're not going to be. The Discord's not going to be a bed for sin. Okay.
Right. Be
Um,
willing to love your fellow man and like look for the best within them, or otherwise get the fuck out of there.
you know what I'll say? You know what I'll say? Ball busting isn't just limited to the fellas. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what.
a little cunt kicking can work
Yeah,
too.
yeah. If you want to do a little cunt kicking, no, honestly, I'll just keep it to ball busting. If you want to do a little, if a gal pops into the Discord and you want to do some ball busting, that's fine, But I mean, keep it ball busting. Don't be a psycho. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
our disclaimer for everyone out there who's listening. If we got any sickos out there rubbing their fingers together and making menacing faces looking at the screen, just know that we're not letting you in our Discord. So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, I like to think that our target demographic is people that are kind of rubbing their hands together,
One way
like,
or
like,
another.
yeah, like the Jew meme.
Yeah. Now I'm
But
thinking about Bernie Sanders, bro, a little bit. Because there was that one cover of like Time magazine or something that did him super dirty, where they have him like smiling like this Jew grin with like rubbing his hands together like at the
did you
podium.
remember when like MSNBC had the body language expert in, and she was
Oh.
like, that's the way that a liar carries themselves.
Oh fuck,
and,
that's
like, and they and
funny.
they said they're like, that's the way a liar carries himself, and look what he's doing with his hands, and like they took little clips of him rubbing his fucking hands together, and like
Oh.
the yeah, dude, it was like MSNBC like pulled out the green lines.
Oh my god, dude, that really is the green lines, but for them.
Yeah,
I saw
pretty.
someone misappropriating the green line meme on Facebook the other day. Like
Well,
just
fucking
some
like libs make fun of it now. Like
yeah. I was like, bro, Rivellino the artist would be rolling in his grave right now, bro.
his grave, he's just not dead.
Yeah,
He's
he's not
just,
alive in Tampa, Florida.
he's probably posted in the last hour.
Definitely. Oh my god. All right, so we're into it now. I guess we could kind of ease into some topics here. Or maybe we could just kind of cover what's new. It's Lent right now. So that's a
Yeah,
good thing. It's time of reflection. And it's another time where you can experience the passing of time actually.
you doing anything for Lent?
As far as what, like going to service, or as far as like giving anything up or any fasting rituals or
Yeah, talking about making some sacrifices,
yeah.
or doing a little charity.
Yeah, I'm doing some stuff. It's nothing major. It's just for me personally, but I'm not eating ice cream for the through Lent. I'm a big sweets guy. I get to
Sure.
about 8, 9 o'clock. I start feeling like I deserve a treat. I want a sweet snack or something. And so I'm cutting out like ice cream, any luxurious sweets like that out. And then I'm like, I'm not eating meat on Fridays. Um, and doing like I did the Ash Wednesday, I did a fast, and then I'll fast Good Friday. Um,
Based. That
just doing
rocks.
that kind of stuff, trying to incorporate more periods of fast into my life and stuff like that. Just as a tool, generally. Um, yeah, mostly just kind of doing that, spending some more time for meditation, prayer, and reflection a little bit too over the next couple months, making a concerted effort to do that.
Nice, man.
Hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I've been. I decided I am gonna totally do no porn.
Oh,
Um.
nice, dude. Okay. I was actually gonna
Uh.
say I've been on a no porn the past couple years now, about a year and a half.
Oh, dude, that
And
fucking rules, dude.
one thing that I'm doing for Lent, and I just didn't want to bring it up because it's not like it's anything. It's like it's something I should be trying to do anyways. Is I'm just not jerking it for all of Lent.
Dude,
Um,
that rocks.
hmm So yeah, that's what
How's
I'm
that?
doing.
I mean, without too much detail, right? I mean, is that going all right? I mean, are you liking the results there?
Yeah, I mean it's going fine. I mean I try not to. I don't really. I'm not too much of like a pent up sexual energy kind of guy.
Hmm.
Anyways, like I'm not just like I don't know. I don't. It's just something where like I just feel like it's probably not healthy to be like, just jerking off or like looking at porn specifically. So that's why I cut the porn out a while ago because like you go on a porn website, bro, and you're scrolling through the most filth you've ever seen in your life. Like, and it's
Yeah.
just right there on the front page. Like you go to like any porn website, like fucking Pornhub or like I don't know, X Tube or whatever, any of those, you go to those guys
I
and
mean,
like
not that I would know, obviously.
right. And you go on there and it's just like endless like really perverted porn, like stepmom relate relative stuff, this and that.
The most popular shit, which is
Right.
horrifying.
And it gets worse and worse and it's really unhealthy. And I started just like there was porn discourse on Twitter like 2 years ago that came up, and like it just
Hmm.
kind of got me to re-examine how I was engaging with porn and with like sexual desire in general. And so just kind of like got that into check. Um, and yeah, so I've tried to be off the porn in general. I try to, whenever I, you know, just use the pleasure of use the powers of my imagination, and vice
Sure,
versa kind of thing.
sure. Theater
It's
of the mind.
good mental exercise. And then also, yeah, it just helps cut it down because it's like, I don't know, if you're seeing like pornographic images or something, it's going to make you, want to be lustful in one way or another.
Hmm.
And so I figure that just cut that out. It helps cut that down. And naturally, that's kind of been what's happened. So it's not been too difficult of a thing. So, I mean, we're not far into Lent right now. So, I mean, we'll know more as we go. But
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I just don't feel good about it. I don't know if that's something in my like in within me. Like maybe it's
Hmm.
some sort of like programming from like growing up, in this religion, and like growing up with a kind of repressed background, sexually, like I just don't feel right about jerking off. So I just figured like if I don't feel right about it, then it's like why would I do it? So yeah,
Well, that fucking rules. Yeah, I've been giving up. Um, yeah, less of that. Well, none of that. And what the fuck else was it? I wanted to do one negative, one positive, and then some side things. So the negative is actually mainly cutting back on smoking weed.
mm,
So I'm not really allowing myself to smoke weed until like I've like kind of completed most of my shit for the day.
nice.
So it's not I'm not quitting smoking weed, but I'm like taking her easy a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah,
That's good to do. That's something I noticed. Like when I get back to working a job regularly,
mhm,
um, that's something I do usually. Like I'll smoke a bowl in the morning when I get up, have my coffee and stuff before heading to work.
mhm.
But then like I would, would spend a whole day, and then I get home and will like shower and handle whatever things I need to do at home before I get stoned. Which is I find is a pretty good flow to get into. Because
Yeah, I
I've
mean
also
it's
had days where it's like, I'm off all day. I mean, today I was off all day. I got pretty stoned this morning. Been hanging out watching XFL football with the boys. So, just kind of doing that. So there's a little bit of a give and take, but I find I'm more productive when I wait towards the end of the day to get stoned.
100%, dude. It's just that, honestly, it's just the same shit as fucking as like any substance. Like it's not really about okay, weed has its own problems, and I fucking love weed, but I also kind of fucking hate weed because like
Hmm.
I think that it does have a lot of problems that are just its own thing, but it's also just this thing that I like that I really love that I've used for a long time that has been good for a lot of that.
Right.
Um, and so it's all just to say, this is more of like this is less of a weed thing and more of just like a getting fucking high in general thing of just like don't get high. Like at least I get some people are totally different with weed, but for me it's just like just don't get high like before noon before you've done anything when you like need to go do shit.
Right.
That's why I just fucking don't get drunk before fucking 5 p.m.
Hmm.
and you got shit you got to go do that day. um and I don't know, I like having the ability to like be a high functioning stoner is like cool, but it's also kind of just like been a bad thing for me too, and it's just like I can fucking get through my day and then get high.
Definitely.
um so that's kind of my thing there.
Yeah, man. When I was working so I was working a job that one the candy industrial candy thing.
Mhm.
And what we were actually doing was making edibles.
Oh
And
wow, I did not
so
know that.
I would be in there just getting high as fuck all day long because it was like mindless work. I
Were
didn't
you
enjoy
able to
being
eat the
there.
things?
No, I wasn't able to eat them, but we took breaks every 2 hours.
And you
And I would just like, you could just smoke weed because, I mean, it's what we do there. So people were just getting stoned and like, and it's like when you're working a job like that, and it's like it's a way, it's like almost like an escape, while you're like, I can show up, I'm doing mindless tedious work, like washing dishes or like filling molds or whatever the fuck, and I can just like get stoned out of my mind, and then like it's kind of like fast forward the next 2 hours or whatever.
yeah.
Which is like that is a way it's not sure that's a healthy thing to do, right, but that's something that I've done. But then it's like other times where I've worked like desk jobs or whatever, and I was like a teenager, and I would be like, I'm gonna get real high before going to work, and then you go in and you're like, oh my god, I gotta deal with people face to face all day long now.
That shit's like actually just scary. Like
Yeah, you're like,
like
this is horrible.
yeah, that's just like, oh no, dude.
So you're like, I guess I'll never do that again. And then like what I do now, I just don't. I like what I do now as a living, like my job. So like I'll smoke a bowl on the way out the door, just because like I just that's what I do as part of my morning routine with a coffee. But it's like I'm just kind of chilling throughout the day, working in outside in the elements and in nature, and I don't really think about it.
Hmm.
And I feel like it frees my mind up a little bit to like, I don't know, when you're working a job like at a desk or doing administrative stuff or like office stuff or like talking with people, I feel like it involves your mind in like a lot more immediate way. Whereas like if you're
Hmm.
doing like what I do, landscaping kind of agriculture stuff, it frees my mind up. So when I get home, my mind doesn't feel overrun already. So like I feel like I have a little bit of space already to be productive when I get home, and I want to like use that rather than get home and like get stoned and just like veg out for however long.
Totally, 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 totally. I think like it's that. Well, that's kind of the dream, also, though, right? It makes me think about like the ending of Office Space, where
Right,
like
dude. Fucking A, bro.
yeah, where they just get like the fucking construction job. I think here, hold on, dude, I went to the fucking store the other day and I bought some fucking Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
And I'm
dude,
just
which
fucking.
kind?
I got the two best kinds, which is some. Is it Samoa?
That's the one with like
It's a
the
coconut one.
coconut and it's like a
I
little circle.
I got Samoas
Mm-hmm.
and I got Thin Mints, and I'm
Yeah,
just I'm
boy.
just I'm just peeling a thing of Thin Mints right now. But
Fuck yeah. I like Thin Mints a lot, dude. Do you ever put the Thin Mints in the freezer?
oh yeah,
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah. I actually that video that gig that I did yesterday that I was telling you about.
Yeah,
Somebody just like came up to me and just gave me an extra box of Thin Mints. So those are
bro.
actually the ones I'm eating right now.
Yeah,
So I'm sitting on two boxes, which means I'm fucking putting that other box I had originally in the freezer now.
for sure, dude. Yeah, that's the shit that pros do. It's like I'm not new to this Girl Scout game, bro. I've been eating Girl Scout cookies since age 6, dude. I got them in the freezer. I got
Mm-hmm.
my tagalongs in the freezer too. Believe that.
Yeah, that shit slaps. But I kind of forgot what I was talking about because I just got lost in the sauce there.
I don't know. I started thinking about cookies, dude. And now I want sweets again.
I
Fuck.
know.
um,
No, 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 man. This is honestly this is something I've kind of wanted to talk about. Is that like that fucking that noble savage job, right? You're just
mhm.
out there and you can just fucking get in the zone and it's chill.
Yeah.
And there's some like there's some like jobs that are like that are kind of like in industries that you wouldn't otherwise think. I think that like it wasn't like this for me because the restaurant I was working at, but I've heard a lot of cases of people being like a number of people being like, work a job I had as a dishwasher was really cool because you just pop in headphones and you're just in the
Yeah.
zone, right? That was not really my experience with being a dishwasher, but it depends on where you're working, right? And that's kind of cool. And then that's like the middle ground, right? And then
Hmm.
obviously there's like my it's like my least favorite fucking term, but like knowledge workers, the Robert Reich and the fucking Clinton administration talking about the knowledge worker and the just white collar
Hmm.
shit, right? And that's a lot of thinking, right? And then you have the fucking service level like wage slave like you need to just not think as a way to just get through
Right.
the nightmare of the work.
Right, dude. Yeah.
And that's been something I've been thinking about, dude, because like I just got this job recently and it's a fucking obviously I'm fucking anonymous, so I'm not gonna go into it with great detail on air. But I mean you and I already talked about it at
Hmm.
fairly good length. But like, dude, when I got this, like it felt like fucking that feeling you get after you graduate high school where you're just like, unless some crazy Billy Madison style nightmare scenario happens, like no one can ever make me go back to that shit, dude.
Right.
Like I don't have to do in like it's fucking I fucking hate that shit
Hmm.
so fucking much, man. And like having like lived through it, it's just one of these things too of like if nothing else, like I'm never gonna be a fucking shitbag to a
Yeah.
retail worker or like a person in the service industry or you know what I mean?
That's one of the
Um,
things that's so like depressing and bleak about the way that we have our entire economy set up is that our entire economy is built upon those jobs. Like
Yes.
you that's like what a lot of people are doing. And the amount of people who have to go and spend a large chunk of the amount of time they're awake every single day just trying to turn their brain off so they don't have to deal with the absolute drudgery of the job that they're doing
Hmm.
is a fucking tragedy. Like that in itself is like one of the more glaring reasons that we need to address the system that we live in currently, because it's like how much is being wasted by that, you know what I mean? Like I have worked those jobs like I was telling you where it's like you just get stoned or whatever and try to just not think through it, and you fast forward 8 hours and you get home. But when you're doing that, your brain goes to shit. You get home, you feel like you're like running at like 50% battery. You're like you literally feel like you've been in a haze all day or something. And it's just like a complete waste of a day. It's a complete waste of your potential. It's a complete waste of every like it's just fucked. And then it impacts the people around you after and like how you are outside of work as well.
Hmm.
And it's just yeah, I mean it's terrible. It's heartbreaking.
Two things. I've had a strange amount of coworkers who have talked to me and basically told me like, I'll be like, all you really do is, and I've been in this too, but I'll maybe point out like, don't you do anything besides just work and go home? Like,
Hmm.
how do you take care of like the social needs that you have in life, right?
Right.
And people just straight up telling me like, no, like the social, my social needs are like addressed by work. I like
Right.
interact with people enough at work, and it's like that is fucked up. And
That's
the
the
amount,
worst part. Yeah, and it drains you to where you don't want to do anything after if you have one of those type of jobs too.
yeah, well, that's a and that's a whole other thing. That's a whole because that's a huge thing, right? And I that's man, I've experienced that so fuck. I mean, we've all experienced that so much. That's just
Hmm.
like we can and maybe even should just like have a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
But
Bullshit job episode.
specifically like working customer service of some kinds,
Hmm.
and I'm counting like even service industry at this point, just like dealing with customers, serving customers, right? um just this feeling people get of just being like, this is my form of interacting with
Yep.
humanity. And it's like that is nightmarish.
Hmm.
That is fucking nightmarish. And yeah, no,
Dude,
you just can't.
I worked customer service slash hospitality type jobs from the age of 16 to the age of 21.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple of things. Number one, that being if you work in that 40 to 50 hours a week, that is the main avenue which you're socializing. Even if you are still going out and trying to meet your own social needs as you would like to meet them, um, that's still not that the time that you spend doing that dwarfs in comparison to the time that you're
That you're at work
at
helping
work.
customers.
Yeah, and
Yep.
you're socializing under the scope of work. And most of the time when you're socializing that way, it's very scripted interaction where it's
It's
like
not. It's not real.
it's
It's
not
not.
real at all. And you
Yeah,
can
like
turn it on and off.
that's like you're totally right. That is like the biggest social part of your life. But the thing is just like people uncritically looking at it that way of like, this is this the that part of my life, those human needs that I have, this is where they're addressed.
Hmm.
And it's like that is like, no,
And they're not even
no.
being addressed, right? Because like what I was getting into is like what I've noticed about myself after working 5 years, and then when I got out of that and haven't gone back, I noticed that the way I interact with people was warped through my customer service experience. Because when
Yes,
you
dude.
spend that amount of time thinking that that's how you're socializing, that's how your social needs are getting met in this scripted environment where you're at work and you're in this like weird kind of client and buyer relationship where it's like, I have something for you. I have these kind of lines that I'm going to say probably, and then you're going to say one of these things, and I'm going to reply with these things. It's
Yep.
all very scripted. It all feels very like machine, like and rote. And like you're making up emotion to be fake happy, to be fake welcoming, to be whatever. And you're not actually experiencing that stuff. And so it becomes really, really easy to become a bullshitter like that, like, and not even know that you're doing it sometimes. Like, I would
And
notice I
become
would
really jaded.
oh,
Like,
you become super jaded when you're dealing with people all day long, especially because in customer service, they're bitching at you half the time. So, like, you're dealing with the worst side of people a lot of the day. And so you
yep.
start seeing that in people when you go out too. But what I noticed is that, like, in a way, it kind of changed the way I interacted with people because, like, those habits of being a customer service person started to kind of work themselves into the way that I organically interacted within social settings outside of work.
Yes.
And I noticed that I would become a little bit more of a pushover than I would like myself to have been, or that I was interacting fakely with people who I didn't actually like. Stuff like that, where it's like, why am I being my customer service person right now when I'm not even at work? And I didn't even realize I was doing it until just now. Like moments like that, or like, like you, when you're at work and you're doing customer service, you have almost it's just a different mode of operating,
Yep.
and it wears off on you. And like, and like you're saying, it isn't actually socializing. Like, you're doing the motions of socializing, and it's draining you the same way as it would, but it's not fulfilling any of the drives that you need to fulfill through genuine organic socialization.
It's like as real. It's like as real to authentic human interaction as porn is to
Dude,
like
right.
authentic sex. Except unlike porn, it makes interacting with humans seems so fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like porn's at least like trying to present things as good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say that, or like video games almost, like how, like, you can go and like fulfill certain, dopamine things and stuff like that through video games, but you're like not actually getting the full fulfillment of whatever the thing is. Like, you can go out and do a hunting video game all day long and maybe get some of the boxes ticked off that men get from when they go out hunting, but it's not
right.
the same experience, right? So it's like you're not. It's like eating the. Like, did you watch SpongeBob?
Oh yeah.
Plankton, how his like machine wife thing would make like the food that would be just digital food.
Dude,
um
Plankton is just Ryan Gosling from Blade Runner 2049.
no,
He's just
for real.
he's just the alienated modern man. Uh,
Fuck.
and like just make like this like edgy reboot of SpongeBob where Plankton's actually like the good guy.
Oh my god, dude. That's
Plankton starts mailing bombs to people.
oh my god, dude, that's so true. I've not even thought about that before, but that's spot on. But it's really like that. Like, the interactions you get with customer service jobs, like socially, it's like eating the fake food that Plankton gets. Like, the vision is there, and it's the same kind of thing, but you're not getting the nutrients. Like, you're not getting the actual needs fulfilled.
It's like soulless, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah, so those kind of jobs, I mean, it's a travesty that we have, like, literally our entire economy is built on that. Since we don't make anything anymore, we just make work like that now, and we don't
Yeah,
have to live that way.
and we don't fucking pay these people enough,
Yeah.
and we've created a system where in a lot of ways it is kind of untenable to pay those people enough. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that that's not a worthwhile goal to work towards, and that isn't the morally right thing to do, because it 100% is. Having slaves in our economy is bad, and
Yeah.
having slaves that don't know that they're slaves is honestly probably worse.
Yes.
um and so yeah, I mean, that's like a worthwhile thing, but at the same time, it's like, our entire fucking economy is based a huge component of our economy is based on keeping consumer goods really fucking cheap.
Right.
Or I guess it was.
Dude, I saw a fucking graph. Let me pull it up. It was from 2018. It was from like Market Watch, or one of those kind of like, economic magazine things, and it was showing
One
price
of those
changes.
satanic I love the Antichrist rags.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was showing price changes from 20 years, from 1997 to 2017. And it was
Okay.
showing it was graphed out, and showing the combination of like overall inflation rate, and then also how certain goods went up or down in relation to the inflation rate, right?
Okay.
And hospital services, college textbooks, childcare, medical care services, wages, housing, food and beverage, etc., all went up and got more expensive. So like food and beverage got more expensive in comparison to overall inflation.
I mean,
Housing.
food I can handle, but beverage?
Yeah, my drinks. What the fuck, bro?
I draw the line at food, but beverages.
Yeah, my Bush beer. What the hell?
I think I just love the word beverage.
Yeah, beverage.
A beverage.
It reminds me of billiards.
Yeah,
It's good like the same way.
Fucking what is? No one plays billiards. People play fucking pool. Dude.
Right.
Fuck off with your.
I think billiards is technically a different game from pool.
It completely is. Just like there's billiards and there's fucking billiards and snooker and pool. Snooker's like some fucking British thing, dude.
It sounds like it, dude.
It's
like yard bowling or whatever, the lawn bowling or whatever they do out there.
I mean, this is not a serious people.
Yeah, the British are not a serious race.
They're a failed race. I mean, to be fair, I don't think that I would describe it in those terms, but I mean, they are kind of a failed project.
I mean, yeah, right now, if you look at the long arc of history, right now we're on like probably the, pretty low part for them. Like they've already peaked and declined pretty heavily to this point right now.
Yeah, like we're definitely you could definitely make the argument that we're in like a similar way, but at the very least, we're still like militarily running the fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
And like not even just still, like I think Prudentialist kind of touched on it, but like we're like doing that more than we ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially through COVID. So I mean like, and that's, I want to emphasize that's not a good thing, but just as far as like, as this topic goes.
Well, I mean, and also you got to think about the fact that like our birthplace, 1776 is pretty much like the, big part of their downfall, the British.
Oh, for sure. Massive L.
Yeah. So, I mean, already we're kind of pretty far ahead of them in that respect. So they got about a 200 something year head start on decline. So they're a little bit more fucked than we are as far as like where they're on the world stage. I mean, dude.
Yeah, I mean, America kind of cucked the British Empire.
We literally did, dude. We literally cucked it. We sent over a fucking model over there to fuck their prince, and then like she got over there and was like, "Oh, you're 91-year-old fucking monarch grandma of the British crown is racist." I
didn't even think you were going in this direction, and it's so much better,
like, dude. And then they're like, "They're racist, so we gotta get out of here." And Prince Harry's like, "Oh yeah, fuck Britain, fuck my bloodline, fuck my entire people. I'm going over to the United States to start a reality TV show with my whore wife." Bro.
With my whore wife.
They're in shambles over there, dude. These people are fucked.
Yeah, that's actually... Dude, this broad wasn't, like... She was on, like, Blue Bloods or something.
Dude, she was on Deal or No Deal, Howie Mandel, bro. Hauling suitcases.
Was she actually?
Yeah, dude, I was... Okay, this is maybe going to be embarrassing, but...
Shit, dude.
I've been watching Deal or No Deal reruns.
With Howie Mandel.
Yeah. And she was on one of the first seasons.
Is this in between your, like, original Xbox virtual poker games that you're having?
Yeah, in between my virtual poker and then my Xbox NCAA 2013 Dynasty that's in the 5th year now.
This is literally what, like, 75-year-old John Carpenter does all the time is just... Okay, it's just like watches NBA games and just plays original Xbox and internet poker.
John Carpenter based though.
John Carpenter is insanely based.
Yes.
Dude. John Carpenter's like for real, like a blue collar film director.
Mm-hmm. Legendary. I mean, dude, the scores in his music and his movies are fucking phenomenal.
Dude, the scores in the best part too. This is arguably one of the most based parts. His original soundtracks are just like him playing his movie. And like him just chilling with his son, just like noodling on the guitar together and just like coming up with riffs as they're jamming watching the movie.
That's so fucking badass, bro.
It's fucking sick, dude.
That's the coolest shit of all time. It's like almost as cool as Angelo Badalamenti and David Lynch. They both just kind of like David Lynch being like, so here's a scene, and then Angela being like, "I got you, bro. Don't even worry about it." Before the scene's even made, he's like, "Here's some music for you." This is that.
Well,
feeling.
David Lynch is pretty based in general. I mean, just like dude. Fucking like I never really got into Maybe this is the normie take, but I never really got into like transcendental meditation. I was more of just the kind of like normie mindful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the motherfucker's like an Eagle Scout from Montana,
Yeah.
and he's just is really fucking into TM,
Uh-huh.
and it's just
TM
cool
is
shit,
pretty
dude.
base,
David
but
Lynch
it's
fucking
also a
rocks.
little
I mean,
bit.
that's like not a hot take by any measure,
No.
but it's absolutely true.
Yeah, David Lynch is like a cultural icon for a lot of people. Twin Peaks is gas. I'll just go ahead and say that while we're here.
Gas for real.
But yeah, so fuck, man, how did we even get here? Oh, we were talking about.
How did I get here?
I think we are talking about shitty jobs and the consumer goods. And
yeah, talking about shitty jobs. Me not working a shitty job now and feeling like I just graduated high school. I never have to go back to that shit. And dude, just some of the fucking disrespect you get in a lot of these jobs too, man. Like no, because that was the meaningful point. One of the big meaningful points you made was just like our economy just like relies on just having that shitty job that none of us want to like draw the short straw on, right? And like, I don't know, man. Just we gotta treat these fucking people better. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is all the most cliche shit in the world that I'm saying.
So we gotta treat our fast food workers better.
Yeah, dude, big clap for our essential frontline workers. What do you say to that?
Dude, did you ever see that movie, The Campaign, with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis?
No, this sounds familiar though.
Dude, it's so good.
Dude,
okay.
Zach Galifianakis low key fell off, right?
He
also,
did
I never say low key or fell off.
Well, you did just then, bud. So, and you were right. There was a proper usage.
You were right, brother. Yeah, no, I mean he for real, no cap fell off though.
He fell off for real.
On God.
on God, no cap, on baby.
I mean, because he was bussing.
He was
back in
he
the
was
day.
bussing hard, bro.
I feel like he kind of burnt out a little too bright with the that fucking Between Two Ferns.
That's what it was.
I feel like the normies just really sunk their teeth into that. I mean, it was like Funny or Die, so it was always kind of normie.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, it became really insane. They made a movie of it.
Oh yeah, dude, they put that on Netflix like right before the pandemic, I think, or maybe right after.
Yeah, that fucking piece of shit. And and then he was never heard from again.
Yeah, I don't know what's
I
going
bet he was the type of guy. I mean, I don't want to make this joke too sincerely, but like, I bet I would not be surprised if it was like a fucking like raped abroad kind of situation.
Oh man, I would hope not.
I would no. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. That's why I introed it that way. Of like, I don't want it to be too flippant, right? But just like, I should have just said like, maybe he got Me Too'd or something.
I could see that.
I could exactly.
Yeah, I feel like he might have just been.
We're saying that Zach Galifianakis looks like a rapist, is what we're saying. We're not saying anything bad.
I feel almost kind of like he had like he was like a Hollywood eccentric in a way, kind of like a Shia LaBeouf. And I feel like he kind of had like, he might have had one of those kind of things. Like Shia LaBeouf fell off the map for like a significant period of time and then popped up like rapping in a water park with a rat tail. And so like just in like smoking meth, like doing crazy shit. So I feel like
he's just actually his character from American Honey.
No, literally.
Yeah, man. Well, and now he's like Tradcast.
Wait, whoa. Shia LaBeouf is?
Yeah, dude. The guy, do you ever see Bad Lieutenant?
Uh-uh.
With fucking, oh man, dude, you gotta see a Bad Lieutenant, dude. Dude, the first Bad Lieutenant is just Harvey Keitel as this crooked ass New York cop in the 70s who's just like literally smoking crack and running around trying to pay his debt to a bookie all day.
Oh, I see this. Oh yeah, that looks good, bro.
It's fucked up. It's a fucked up ass movie.
I like Harvey Keitel though.
And then the sequel is directed by fucking Werner Herzog. And it's set in New York with Nicolas Cage as the lead. Dude, honestly, we could do a fucking movie episode on that.
Let's do that for sure.
But point is the first movie directed by this guy, Abel Ferrara, a pretty shocking Italian director. He directs this biopic of fucking Saint Padre Pio, who's a Catholic mystic.
Oh, I saw that came up when I just now looked up Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and so Shia LaBeouf plays in Abel Ferrara's Padre Pio movie. He plays Saint Padre Pio.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I mean, I'd like to see it. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think that Abel Ferrara is a really great
Hmm.
director, and I mean, Padre Pio seems interesting,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know this director, but I'll tell you what, I ride for Shia LaBeouf. That's a fact. Uh, I came up on Even Stevens, bro. Believe that.
But, dude, on God, dude, believe that honestly, this is a pro LaBeouf podcast.
That's a fact, dude. I know we've already covered this, but I think we all know my stance on the Transformers original trilogy. One of
I
the
actually
best.
don't know that I do know your stance on the
Oh my
Transformers
god.
original
Okay.
trilogy.
We might have never rehashed this or never
We might
hashed
have
it
a
out.
problem here.
All right. Well, basically, the original Transformers trilogy is one of the best three movies ever put together of all time.
Oh
But
man.
no, I'm just kidding. But Michael Bay got some crisp graphics in there, bro.
Hey,
And
dude, I'll say this about MB. Michael Bay is kind of like Zack Snyder, where he makes this kind of like he makes these like butt rock movies.
mm-hmm.
Um, but like he's had some opportunities to do some like basically independent budget films that are like passion pieces of his, and people have mixed feelings about it. But like Pain and Gain
Oh, dude,
is
Pain and Gain, bro. He did that.
he Michael Bay directed Pain and Gain, and the point I'm
Holy
saying is
fuck.
just like this guy loves cinema,
Yeah.
and like he's an actual artist. I think of him. You might not like his art, but I mean, I think of people like him in the same way I think about George Lucas, where it's like George Lucas is kind of just like this like autistic kind of retarded guy that made Star
Hmm.
Wars. But like, dude, he's just like chilling at his fucking ranch these days, just making movies for him and his friends that like
Yeah.
none of us are gonna see until he dies.
That's what
And like,
Shia's doing now too, I feel like.
yeah, that's fucking dope. Like
Yeah.
that is astronomically based, and like that's they have the spirit of like a true artist,
Yeah.
and just because Michael Bay or like someone like Zack Snyder does, just basically like butt rock movies,
Hmm.
doesn't mean that like they aren't, a real artist. It's, it comes down to, it's the Roosevelt thing of just like, it's the man in the arena, it's easy to talk shit,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, this is the case for so many artists, right? Like I think about,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm going on kind of a
No, you're
tangent
good,
here,
man. I
but
like it.
I think about, I'm personally, just to save myself the heartache here, I'll just say like I'm personally not a fan of him, but I think like Skrillex kind of got a similar thing here where it became cool to like make fun of these kind of like low or middle brow
Yeah.
artists.
Hmm.
And it's like, look, dude, like, it's easy. It's the whole thing is right. It's easy to criticize the man in the arena, right? But like, it's a lot harder to be the man in the arena. And I'm sorry, I probably just butchered the line, but
No, I
like,
feel like people do that with M. Night Shyamalan a lot too. Like people like or like Christopher Nolan, like people that are like they make the movies for like popcorn theater, but like I don't know, they try to make them a little bit more like they're like I'm gonna make this edgy or like make this heady or whatever. And then people will be like,
to be fair, M Night Shyamalan has had a really fucking tortured filmography. Like it is rough.
yeah, he's got some rough patches in there,
He's
but The
he's
Village
he's
is
got
fire.
more rough patches than good patches, to be fair. But I get what you're saying. I mean, it's yeah.
But yeah, if people like if it, I just think that people will get a way of like looking down upon like if it's popular, people want to talk shit about it, or like like Skrillex, like he popularized the genre that then people then took, and over the course of a decade, maybe were able to make more unique sounds out of
Mhm.
than that originally. But like the man fucking popularized the genre in the first place to allow those people to be influenced by it and then take it and make those other things that people maybe like more or think are more artistically developed or whatever it is that they think about it. So you got to give credit where credit is due in that sense.
I guess I had it explained to me, not to correct you, but I guess I had it explained to me recently as more like the genre was changed by him into something that it kind of wasn't from the beginning,
Mm.
and some aficionados,
Oh
I
yeah, I mean, people that are like, this is not dark room D&B anymore in the UK and sweaty British people,
right,
and now it's for
Oi!
everybody at
uh
EDC.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
and I pretty actively just have never liked dubstep.
yeah.
So it's
I don't
not.
fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like it was like, look at the ethno side of my culture, But like, but yeah, but it be, exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's this like, it's cool to shit on them.
Hmm.
Like that joke I've made in the past, just about like, dude, there's like just people that like fucking like live in Ohio that can like unironically enjoy fucking Linkin Park.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
like, that was like your response to that on Fedpost was the funniest joke that I had ever heard you make ever, of like, that's the noble
It
savage.
is, bro.
Um, and
We need
it's
more of
just,
those people.
yeah, and like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just like the guy, the guy in Arizona listening to fucking Linkin Park isn't doing anything wrong, and
Nah, dude.
like, in the fucking cornballs that are making that fucking rap rock aren't doing anything wrong. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, not everybody can be listening to fucking Bitches Brew by Miles Davis and having a, like, it's just like,
Yeah,
fucking, just like, calm down.
yeah.
Um,
Some people just need to enjoy their white snake and have a good bush beer and chill out, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about that.
100%, brother.
Yeah, man. There's a weird elitism that goes on with like individual artistic taste, like musical taste. Everyone wants to feel like they have the most unique, the most niche, the most well curated musical taste. And I think a lot of that has to do with like, I feel like streaming apps and shit now, because people like can curate playlists and share them, and you can have, do stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I think that the weird, like the streaming, the proliferation of streaming has kind of flattened out music, but also siloed
Hmm.
off people like into, I don't know, just people just want to like become super, super niche in everything that they do and feel like they've got like, oh, I've heard of this person way before anyone else, or like I'm listening to like underground fucking whatever.
Well,
Um,
the interesting thing is that it's like a status signifier to be like, I am aware of this really specific, esoteric culture, right?
mhm.
But the funny thing is because I guess, like, in a way, I want to talk about. I need to qualify this because I'm going to use the term democratization of information, but I need to acknowledge that, like, that's like the dream of the internet, and the dream of the internet is like died, right? So
Yes.
like, it's like we're not living in the democratization of information in the way it should be, right? But you know exactly what I mean, and that is what has happened in a lot of ways. Um, but
It's
now,
more so
because
like the proliferation of information, like than
yeah,
it is democratization.
yeah, because like, I mean, I'll still say democratization. Like, it's widely available regardless of status or class or anything like that. Like, it's like, the signal doesn't really work as like a status thing, to be like, look at all this cool esoteric shit I'm into now, because like everyone has access to it and it's
Hmm.
easy and it's kind of the default.
Hmm.
um Honestly, that's where, and I'm not necessarily saying this like it's a good thing, but I think that is kind of partially why, like fringe politics became what it is
Oh yeah.
is because like that's actually kind of difficult in some way, to like get into, I guess, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I mean, it's getting more and more niche information that you can trade back and forth as, signifiers with other people in the group.
Exactly. And just how, I guess, back in the day it would have been like, oh man, like this slasher film is really hard to find, or
Hmm.
like this fucking hardcore cassette is really hard to find,
Hmm.
like, um you know fucking I guess it kind of exists like that with like kind of dissident hip politics.
Yeah.
But then that gets into the whole just like this is a cool kids club, and that shit's like,
Right.
you kind of have to fucking scoff at that shit.
That's where it becomes an issue. I think it's okay, like, that's how people relate to each other, right? It's through shared interest. And so, like, at a certain point, not just specifically in a political group, but like interest, like we were talking about music and film and art or whatever, at a certain point, it's good to be able to, like, have those exchanges with people, right? Like, where you're like, oh, I really like this one thing. And you find someone else that really likes it too. And you can relate to each other through y'all's shared love of X thing. And when you're
Yes.
able to bring out more and more niche things, it's like, oh, wow, this person knows and enjoys this thing at a level that's similar to the level which I do, so I can relate with them in that way. And I think that is good. But it creates this weird kind of clickiness or kind of like elitism among it sometimes with some people, that I think is a little icky. I think that's just what people do in general, though, unfortunately, with a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, but
Like
so
right now, my boss, like I was telling you, he's really big into music, and so like he's really big into jazz and like postmodern jazz mostly, like I am as well. And so like the first day we were working together, he was like, "Oh, you play music? What kind?" And I told him, yeah, I really like Medeski, Martin, and Wood, which is a jazz group. And he's like, oh yeah, I really like them too. And so that was like, we both kind of perked up, like, oh cool, we both like the same shit. So it's good to like relate, in that way. And it can be helpful because it creates relationships like that or helps to deepen them. But once it
it's
gets
it's
like
good to
exclusive,
it's good to have that common lexicon.
yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, 100%. But God, what were we talking about again? Sorry, I lost my train of
You're
thought for
good.
a
I
second.
brought up the Transformers, and we
Oh
started
my
talking about
God,
Michael Bay for a second, but we were talking about like the Shia LaBeouf and like the mark of a real
Michael
artist,
Bay's a true artist. Was my point.
right? Yeah, because he does pain and gain passion projects, and I think that's right. I think there's something to that because I like seeing that a lot. Like when you see an artist or someone else make it big, and they're like, "I want to do these shitty indie movies now," or not shitty, but these like low budget indie movies now because now I can afford to take those roles that I actually want because I made money doing these other ones. That seems like it is a little bit more of like a mark of a true artist if they're like, yeah, now I'm actually going to reinvest my time into art that matters to me.
100%.
And
100%.
so then I brought up the Transformers thing just to quickly recap on that because I did say it in jest that it's one of the best trilogies ever made, but Transformers really slaps. And it has really good crisp graphics. Like it was the peak of CGI graphics. Period. There's not been better CGI graphics since then, and there hasn't been before that. It all culminated in the three Transformers movies, 1, 2, and 3, and then it got really bad since. Like if you look at Marvel movies or like any movie now, I saw a commercial for Creed 3 for some fucking bullshit. And it's like a fighting movie, right? Kind of like a follow up to Rocky and stuff.
Yeah,
um,
like these Creed movies are the soft reboot of the
Black
Rocky
Rocky.
franchise. Yeah, no, Rocky is Star Wars.
Yeah. And now they're doing it, and like these new movies are like, you look at it and it's just a fight in a ring. So you could film it completely with real people in a real ring, but it's all CGI, and you can tell like he's walking out of the tunnel and it's like blurry behind him, and like he's in the ring and it's like literally fake people all around him, looking like my version of NCAA 2013 that I play on the Xbox original. Like it's
Oh, it
like,
looks worse than that, dude.
yeah, it's terrible. I don't understand what's happened, but point being, Transformers 1, 2, and 3 blows that out of the water on such a like phenomenal way. And Shia LaBeouf, fantastic, good kid, gotta love him. Grew up
Good
with him.
kid. Even Stevens, dude.
Even Stevens, bro. And then Megan Fox, dude. It was one of the last times where you could just throw a hot girl in a movie just for the sake of it. Like, and I think people don't like that either. They're like, it's just a movie about like robots and fast cars. And in there
Dude,
that's in high school.
dude, that's what the male brain looks like right there, dude.
Holy fuck. But dude, I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I loved that shit when I was young. Like it came out, I went to the theater, I saw it come out in theaters, and I loved it. Second one and third. holds a nostalgic place in my heart, and so because
Amen.
of that, I like it. I know that it doesn't hold up to like real films, but I do enjoy it. I'll rewatch it every now and again. 1, 2, and 3, not 4 and 5. Those are bullshit.
Wait, so which one? What is 4 and 5?
4 and 5 has Marky Mark.
Oh yeah, okay. What's up with that?
I don't know. They're not even. They're making new
What's
ones
the deal
now.
with this guy?
What's the deal with this fucking guy? They're making new Transformers. They're coming out now, and they're just completely skipping over 4 and 5. They acting like they
Okay.
didn't exist. So, anyways, quick aside about Transformers, and Michael Bay and stuff. But yeah, I guess that is a